Jesus Christ. I want to talk about the road to recovery.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The road to recovery.
Yes, sir.
I realized tonight that when I read that particular verse, that it did not receive the response that I had anticipated. Because I had anticipated that once I read that verse, that shouting would begin and we would be able to go home.
My God.
But in order for that to occur, you have to take into consideration the verses that came before that particular verse. And see, this is the end result of what had happened earlier. But if you don't mind, I'll rewind it and I'll take you to this part of the scripture, beginning in verse number 46, and hopefully when I get to this part of the scripture again, I will get a different reaction. Yeah, because you have to understand what was going on with this particular individual. And if you know what was going on with this individual, some of us, so many of us, if we were honest with ourselves, will find ourselves in this passage of scripture. Let me show you why. Go with me, please. Jesus had just got through preaching, teaching, and praying, and blessing, and healing, and counseling, and providing, and resurrecting. Jesus had just got through walking through his ministry in Galilee, and now he was in his final ascent to Jerusalem. Okay, that's where you find yourself if you were to get to verse number 45. But then in verse number 46, it says that on his way to Jerusalem from Galilee, that he stopped in a town called Jericho.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't the right response. I thought I'd get a shout right there and I can quit. Let me tell you what Jericho means. Jericho means a curse. That's a cursed place. That's a bad place. Why was it cursed? Well, for those of us that are Bible scholars, if you were to read Joshua, the 6th chapter, verse number 26, when Joshua captured Jericho, he cursed it. So Jericho was a curse. Oh, they still don't get it. Jericho was a cursed place. And nevertheless, Jesus found his way from Galilee to Calvary to stop off in a cursed place. Now, let me get in the scripture now. Maybe let me draw you in. Come here, come a little closer. Maybe I can take you into this scripture. Your life was messed up. Your life had been cursed from the birth, and yet Jesus, on his way to Calvary, stopped by your house, knocked on your door. You weren't looking for him, but he came and found you. Your house was not in order. Everything was messed up. You probably had the alcohol bottle leaning under your shoulder with some marijuana underneath your fingers because your life was messed up. If not that, maybe that doesn't apply to you, but you might have been the one that been in the bed with somebody else's husband or somebody else's wife when Jesus found you. It wasn't a cursed place. Nevertheless, God decided to take time to stop by your house. Now, maybe we can understand. This isn't a cursed place, and Jesus on the way. There were a lot of places he could have stopped, but he stopped at a place that had been cursed before. And while he was in the city, he ran into a man that was called Bartimaeus. Now, watch this now. I'm going to drop something in your spirit. Nobody really knows what his real name was. Because Bartimaeus was his nickname. It's kind of like when I was growing up, there's some relatives that it took me over 30 years to find out what their name was. I had an auntie Blondie, and one time she called and told me to tell my mother that her sister Naomi called, and I laughed because I told her my mama ain't got no sister named Naomi. And then my mother told me, oh, that's Blondie. I didn't even know what her name was because she had become so familiar to us by her nickname. Okay, let me tell you about Bartimaeus. Bartimaeus, Bar, B-A-R, is what is meant in the Greek for son of. Okay, it's Bible study night. Y'all just let me teach. Bar means in the Greek son of. Timaeus is the name of his father. So basically what they were saying to him was this man that Jesus ran into was the son of Timaeus. Now that was not his name, but he was just the son of Timaeus. Now you got to know the meaning of Timaeus in order to understand why that was so important. Because here you have the Son of Man, Jesus Christ. And can I just teach a little bit? The Son of Man, Jesus Christ, running to Bartimaeus, who was the son of... Watch this now. Watch what Timaeus' names mean. His names mean filth, dirt, bad, corruption. Everything that's low and beneath is what Timaeus means. So what you have is, you have the Son of Man on his way from Galilee to Jerusalem to go to Calvary, stopped by a place that was accursed named Jericho, and ran into the son of filth by the name of Bartimaeus. What am I saying now? Here's what happened. See, God being good all by himself was showing to us in this demonstration, in this final trip, that you wouldn't go make it to where he was. But he was more than willing to come where you were. And then when he got to this accursed place, he went to a man that had to be so bad because his name meant filthy. His name meant corruption. His name meant dirt. And yet Jesus was passing through. The man that name mean dirt, son, who was accursed from birth, blind, Bartimaeus was his nickname because he was the son of filth. He knew no goodness. He knew nothing good. All he knew how to do was to con people, to get people to do what he wanted them to do. Well, Pastor, where you get that from? He was blind. He couldn't make it to the street, and yet every day somebody took him there. How did he get it done? Because he told somebody into taking him where he needed to go. Then when he got there, he begged for whatever he needed. Dependent upon them. It's all right there in the text. If you read it right there in the text. And then watch this now. Watch this. And as he was encountering Jesus brought out some things in him that he was not used to. And if you're not careful, Jesus will bring out some stuff in you that you didn't even know you were capable of doing. Jesus will bring out some good stuff in you that you didn't even know you had on the inside of yourself. Jesus will have you thinking right now, when you didn't think nothing of yourself, that you went from the ugly duckling to the beautiful swan. Because when Jesus get on the inside of you, he brings about a change on the outside of you, and you go from being a nobody to somebody. Come here, woman with the issue of blood. She was nobody. Nobody even knew her name. They didn't write her name down. But when Jesus addressed her, he said, somebody. Only God can take you from nobody to somebody in a matter of seconds. Here it is. Watch this. Now watch this. I'm almost finished. Y'all hang out. I'm almost finished. Here it is now. He goes and he sees Bartimaeus. And listen, what did he bring out? in Bartimaeus. First of all, he helped Bartimaeus